So have you ever gone out on a Friday night looking like this?
Definitely not.
I have not, and I really don't want to start. So Sammy is going to show us how to do an amazing nighttime look that can take you from being in the office during the day to cocktails with the girls at night.
I'm just going to spritz on the face first. Just close your eyes for me. Just a bit of a rose water mist to freshen up your face. And now we're going to just put on the primer. This is ModelCo's face base, which is excellent to create a layer underneath your foundation. It's going to help your foundation stay on a lot better and just helps the smooth and even out the skin. So I always start sort of from the middle of the face and blend out. Alrighty, so we're going to go into putting the foundation. So I was going to say with the primer as well, you don't actually have to put that on with a brush if you don't want. You can do with your fingers. It gives you a different look. So, I mean, with your hands, obviously they're a bit got warmth, you know, so they will be able to really blend it into your skin quite well. But a brush just also really helps you, you know, get around everywhere and really buff it into the skin. So it gives a bit more of a polished look, I think.
Now, why is the concealer so important? Is it just because of, you know, the thing, like you can get eye makeup in that area, or?
So it's just nice, it just gives you that fresh sort of look, and especially because we're going to be going into applying some eyeshadow as well under the eyes, it just helps cover up. So just that little bit. You can always layer. I mean, makeup's all about layering, so you never want to just go straight in there with a heavy brush. You just want to have the most minimal makeup as possible because you can always add. Okay, so we're going to go in with some bronzer. Everyone can wear it, it's just about how much you put on. So you always want to be doing a little bit, but you can always kind of, you can tap it against your finger or, you know, whatever you like, just to get the excess off, because the last thing you want to do is go in with this huge big line of bronzer where you don't want it. So essentially you want to be doing it like a bit of an M or a W, however you view that. So for the night time, you really want to, I'm going to emphasize the eyes here. I'm actually just warming up this pencil a little bit. So because it's a nice little brand new one, this is a twist up style kohl, I don't want to go straight in there and, you know, feeling like I'm dragging along your eye. So I'm just sort of warming it up a little bit and just sort of softening it just so it's a little bit just nicer on your eyes. So I always find the key with like applying the eye pencil, we're not trying to make a defined line with it. That's what we'll use the liquid line for. This is just to give a bit more depth. So I'm almost using it a little bit like a shadow because I'm actually going to use a little brush with it as well. But I'm also, I just sort of want to feather it across the sides. It is close for me. I don't want to go straight in. If you're trying to go straight in, that's when you're going to, you know, have a little bit of trouble. So sort of just, it's almost like you're holding it sideways and you're just sort of feathering it along the lash line. So I just like to keep, the idea with the smoky is that you keep everything from strong towards the lash line and blend it out. So it's like, you know, basically like how fire burns. It's stronger at the base and then it smokes out. So it's the same kind of idea. So, you know, heavier or stronger at the lash line, and we smoke the colours out from dark to medium to light. So if you just shut for me. So I'm just going to start sort of in the outer corner of the eye and blending sort of up. So it's almost like you've got like a little C. Similar to how we did the bronzer, it's like a little mini C. So I always like to do the darker in the outer corner first and then move my way in. So you've got like a medium shade on the eyelid and then the highlight obviously up in the brow bone. So I'm actually just going to use a little bit this other shimmery brown. I'm just actually going to put a little bit on your eyelid. Sometimes people start with the light colours and move to medium and then to dark. I tend to like to go the other way because I just find that if you lay down the darker colour first and then you can go in and just highlight where you need to, because sometimes if you put all the light down first and then the dark, it mixes in and creates sort of, merges the colour and makes it a bit, that merges the highlight, makes it a bit sort of grey. So I always like to add the highlights for last. Okay, so I'm actually going to go in with the liner first before we do the highlight. I like to do that very, very last. So this is quite cool. This is the liner and the mascara combined. So again with the pencil, I like to hold it sort of sideways as opposed to front on. And I always, similar to the eye pencil, I start from the middle and work my way out. and then come back into the center a little bit as well. So I kind of feather a little bit as well with the liner. You'll never be able to get one line by just doing it in one go. So if you just lightly feather it across, you'll see you'll be able to join it all up, and it's a lot easier and you won't make any mistakes. Alright, so now we're going to put the lashes on. Ooh. So sometimes I actually just like to grab an eyeliner brush, or any brush really, and just use the back of the brush to actually just put a bit of the glue on. You want to have enough glue that obviously that's going to stick, but not that it's going to get too wet, because if the glue is too wet, it's not going to stick well enough. Ultimately, you want to try and put it from the middle and then out. Like, I wouldn't try and focus on sticking it down in the inner of the eye and then to the outer, because sometimes you get it too far on the outside. So you want to try and measure it up and go in from around about the middle and then push down on the other sides. Just open a little bit for me. How does that feel? Not a bit too stuck on the outside. And then just look down a little bit. Like just over your nose. Yep. So you can see it makes such a difference, just that it really gives a lot of definition to the lash line, which is why sometimes, like, if you are going to wear lashes, you might want to steer away from black or anything too heavy in the crease, because the lashes do a lot of the work for you. Okay, so then I'm just going to put a little bit of liner in the inner rim as well, because we're just going to make it a little bit more dramatic. So just look up for me. Freshen up that colour. I always like to go a little bit up, sort of similar to where we went with the bronzer as well, but with just the excess, that don't actually apply anything up there. Alright, so we're going to touch up the lips. So still going to keep the same colour. I mean, you can always add a bit more colour if you want, but I'm also just going to add a bit more of a coloured gloss on the top. Oh, this smells nice.
Sure does.
Okay, cool. So we're going to put a little bit of shimmer mist on you, but we're not going to do it all over your face, because we've got quite a lot of highlight going, you know, we've got along the brow bone, cheekbone, inner eyes. We don't want to go too crazy. You can actually use this one all over your face, but I reckon we're just going to do it as more of a body shimmer. So there we are. I think we're done.
Beautiful.
So
well,
you should let your hair out. Give yourself a zhuzh.
What do we think? Am I
ready?
Am I ready to hit the town? Paint the town red, so to speak?